UFC 285. It's been 3 years, but I can finally say it is John Jones Fight Week, the greatest fighter of all time. It has been a long 3 years since we got to see this man back in the octagon. I mean, February 2020, the close fight with Dominic Reyes, and we don't see him
Lost
three
that.
years later. Here we are. 3 years later, it's Johnny Bones Fight Week, and I can't wait. But before we get into that fight, we're gonna do the whole main cards. So let's get it started off with Jamie Pickett versus Bo Nickel. Jamie Pickett, man, he's on and off. He's on a two-fight skid, L skid. I mean, look at his resume. Who has he really beat? Who's his best win? I mean, maybe Joseph Holmes, but
Roman Reigns.
that like he lost to Wright, he lost to Dawkins, he lost to Dennis. Like he's on a skid. And then you look at Bo Nickel to fight twice in the Contender Series because Dana thought he wasn't maybe he needed another fight. He dominates both fights, and now here he is making his UFC debut, leading off the main card. Not many fighters get that, but Bo Nickel's different. And let me tell you now, Bo Nickel is going to finish Jamie Pickett inside 2 rounds. He's going to dominate from start to finish. He will either take him down and ground and pound him, or he'll even play around and strike him with him and knock him out. Because Bo Nickel is trained at American Top Team, and you're such a big fan of Masvidal with his boxing. He's working with Masvidal. He's working with Dustin Poirier probably. He's working with those guys now. Your striking's getting good. He already has some of the best wrestling. Bo Nickel by finish inside 2 rounds. Book it.
Couldn't agree more. Dude's a stud wrestler, stud at Penn State. How many state champions has he won? I know he has a
A lot.
handful,
A lot,
but
probably.
he's a stud wrestler. I know some friends from my hometown that actually trained with him. So yeah, I got Bo Nickel winning. I've again like you under 2 rounds. I feel like ground and pound. He's just gonna take him down, start mauling him. It's gonna be a wrestling match. Nothing really, but I think Bo Nickel's a lock in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see much disagreement. Pretty sure he's a huge favorite too.
All right, next fight we got Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. This is going to be an absolute banger because I've been watching Jalen Turner for a while, and he's on a how many fights has he got in a row? I see five right there in his last five.
I think like five.
Well, yeah, and Gamrot's been looking really good too. This is and Gamrot fought who did you fight?
Well, Neil Dariush lost in October.
Yeah, and that was I thought it was a close fight,
Yeah,
but
besides the third.
yeah, besides the third round, but Turner, he's a dog. He got hands. He can hit. And I want to be that guy. I have Jalen Turner winning by knockout in this fight. I like Turner striking a lot. He's a power. He throws bombs. And yeah, I got him. I got him by second, third round knockout.
You know me. I'm a big Gamrot guy. Gamrot's gonna win
You a
this.
Gamrot guy, or are you just on the wave right now?
There's no wave. He
There
lost
is.
his
Oh,
last
yes,
fight.
there is a
He
wave.
lost his last fight. No one's really hyping this guy up anymore. I'm still on the Gamrot train. He lost to Beneil Dariush, yeah, but Beneil, a little more experienced than Jalen Turner, can also wrestle pretty good. Beneil Dariush. You're so confident Jalen Turner is going to defend these takedowns. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I think Gamrot's going to go in there and just wrestle this guy. I think he wins the unanimous decision. Jalen Turner's on a great skid. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But in all these fights, he's usually keeping it standing. Does he have any submissions? I don't even know. Does he have any
I don't.
submissions?
I know he's mainly a striking guy.
He's a rear naked choke and two rear
In the
naked
first
chokes.
round,
But
the
he's not
first and
getting
second
choked. He's
round.
not choking out Gamera. He's not choking out Gamera. And you
You
can come
never
back.
know that, bro, because Jalen Turner has power, bro. He's been touching people and they've been going down and sleeping. You never know. In this first round, Jalen could clip him, get him hurt early, start beating him up. Who knows? Gamera might be beat up so bad that Jalen Turner slips in a little rear naked choke while he's hurt. Who knows? Jalen Turner's a demon in my eyes, and I think after the Beneil Dariush fight, a lot of eyes are on Gamera. They were liking him because it was a close fight, all that. They were liking his style and how he's moving. But I
And
just
he's
don't see. I
bad.
just,
And he's
I
bad.
just, I just don't see it. And Jalen Turner, I've seen him fight more times in the UFC than Gamrot, and Jalen Turner's been a stud for the past couple of years. So
That's fine. But Gamrot's going to do the thing he does best, and he's going to wrestle him. Jalen Turner's not defending those takedowns. I could be totally wrong, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not putting any of this fight in any parlays I do on this night because it's too close. But I will pick Gamrot. I will stick with the Gamrot train.
Jalen
I'm
Turner
not
is a
hopping
lot.
off. I will not take this off. Jalen Turner is not a lock.
Oh no.
Gamrot by decision on this night. Jeff Neal for Shakvat Rakhimov. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is another good fight. I mean, Jeff Neal, he's on and off. He lost Thompson Magny, but then he went right back on with Ponzinibbio. He beat Vicente Luque. He finished him. Not many people finished Vicente Luque. Yeah, I remember that. Before that, he was on a huge win streak, beating all these guys. Bilal Muhammad's a win that's aging very nicely right now. Then you got Shakvat. This guy is the next thing in the welterweight division. Look at this. He just dominates every fight he's in. Guillotine choke, rear naked choke, spinning hook kick, guillotine choke. He mauled Neil Magny. And now he's fighting Jeff Neal. And Jeff Neal is a striker. He's not a wrestler. Shagvat is going to either take him down and finish him, or he's going to speed him up on the feet. I think Shagvat might prove a statement in this fight and beat him up on the feet a little bit. But there's no way. And I'm telling you, this is my locky lock of the night. Shagvat will beat Jeff Neal. My lock of the night. I will put this in any parlay I want. Jeff Neal is not winning this fight.
I probably couldn't disagree with you more on what you just said.
Okay.
Go back to Jeff Neal's fights. Jeff Neal is a dog. He's been in the UFC. He's a veteran. I count him as a veteran in my eyes in the UFC. He's been up and down in divisions. He's been in the game for a while. He's fought the who's who. He's beat the who's who in this division. Yeah, he's never had a title fight. He's never been a champion. He's never been a big prospect guy, but he's always been there. He's always been working, and you could say he's kind of like the journeyman of the division. And if you go back to Shabbat's career, those are all really no big names. Those are all like
Hey,
those aren't even ranked opponents. He hasn't even fought a ranked opponent yet.
Shakvat beat Neil Magny pretty easily, and Jeff Neal lost to Neil Magny. That's all I'm gonna say. I know that doesn't matter. I know that doesn't matter, but I'm just saying. I'm
Okay,
just
all
saying.
right. Well, not counting that fight, overall experience and everything. Shabbat hasn't even fought a top 15 guy, and Jeff Neal has been fighting top 10 guys for who knows, probably the last 3-4 years.
Not
So
many though. Not many.
well, he's still been in there. He has way more experience, and I think he's gonna win the fight. I think he's gonna stuff these takedowns easy. And do I want to go?
Sheesh.
I'm going with Jeff Neal in decision with this fight. I
There's
think
a
I
reason
think
he's
it's
a
gonna
plus
be close.
380 underdog.
Who?
Jeff Neal.
We'll see. We'll see. I just don't know. I don't. I'm not believing the hype around this guy. I'll see it.
I am.
But Jeff Neal, he's a dog. He's been in here. He knows what he's doing. He'll get that one. Not a lock though. Definitely not a lock. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know about that fight. But next fight, the Queen is back to defend her belt again, and this is very debatable. I think she won that second Amanda fight. I thought that was a robbery. But anyways, this is my women's goat. And Alexa Grasso, I've been watching her when I first started watching MMA was when she was mad young. So I've been watching her for like basically when I've been watching UFC, and she's pretty good. I've been a fan of her, and she has really good boxing. And how many girls has she put away with boxing?
Um, she doesn't really finish them. She just pieces them up usually.
Yeah, see, this is where it's a slippery road for Grasso because I think this is going to be a murder fest. I think Valentina wrestle fucks her for 5 rounds, and I think Grasso gets beat up pretty bad. I like Grasso saying it, but everybody's talking about last Valentina fight was close. She didn't look the same. Every fight's different. Come on, who knows what's going on to that camp? Valentina still came away with a clear win. And now this is a whole different type of stylistic matchup too. So I think Valentina gets it done, and this is probably my lock of the night, easily.
Well, the Talia Santos gave us the method on how to beat Valentina Shevchenko. She almost did it. Alexa Grasso, unfortunately, does not have that skill. Not the skill. She just doesn't have that fighting way to beat Valentina. She's a striker. She's not going to take you down a lot. Valentina's not going to have to worry about this takedown. So Grasso, I think Grasso is going to start off pretty well actually in the first 2 rounds. I think she starts off pretty well, but I think Valentina is going to take over later in the later rounds. Maybe Valentina gets a late finish, but Grasso doesn't get finished a lot. Maybe she chokes her out, but I do not see Valentina finishing her on the feet. I think Valentina just takes over late, maybe gets that decision, maybe a late submission win, but Grasso's not the one to end the Valentina train. I told Kevin before this video it's Aaron Blanchfield, but that's a video for another time. Aaron will be the one to beat Valentina. I'm telling you guys now. But
Different
Grasso,
conversation. We could have a 30-minute conversation about that, but we could make a whole new video about that.
yeah,
But yeah, my final prediction for this fight is I have Valentina winning, finishing the fight under 4 rounds. My guess would probably be a submission or something, maybe some ground and pounds. But yeah, I think
Grasso,
he was mat. This fight's on the mat most of the fight.
Grasso doesn't usually get finished on the feet. Maybe she catches her or something crazy, but I don't see it.
That just got a knockout. We gotta watch for those kicks. Huh?
Yeah. But hey, Alexa Grasso does not get finished. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. But
Clip it, clip it.
I'm talking Stan though. If she gets finished by a submission, I totally see it. But the main event of the evening, what I've been waiting for 3 years, the greatest of all time is back. 23 years old, he wins the belt. He absolutely killed all these legends. Shogun Rua, Quentin Rampage Jackson, Lito Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Son and Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, who won the belt not only, what was it, almost a year and a half ago. Daniel Cormier twice. The second time should count too. Gustafson, Smith. Then you started to see Reyes and Santos. He started to fall off a little bit. He didn't look his best. Is that because he was declining, or was that because he didn't have that factor? He was like, I don't. These guys aren't motivating me. They're not the legends. It's not the same. You don't know. Then you got Cyril Gane, fought for the belt almost a year ago, basically against Francis, and he was winning those first 2 rounds. And then what Francis do? He wrestled him for 3 straight rounds. No one expected that. Then he comes back against Tai Tuivasa. He gets hurt, and he comes back and finishes Tai. Now, did you hear the quote Cyril Gane said last week?
Maybe.
He said, I don't usually train outside of a fight camp.
Remind games, bro.
And I don't believe it because his coach clarified the comments after, but it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Is Cyril Gane's wrestling all that much better a year later? Are we sure about that? I mean, if Francis Ngannou did that, I think John Jones will have a pretty not easy time doing it, but I think John will do it. I think John Jones is walking into this octagon March 4th, taking Cyril Gane, having moments on the feet, and getting the heavyweight title, just cementing his status as the greatest of all time. That is my prediction for this fight.
Never mind what you said, but there's so many factors going in this fight, and I feel like this is one of those fights. Like after the fight's over, it's be like, bro, we overthought this fight so much. Like, what were we thinking? And I have a feeling it's going to be a close fifth round decision because, and I know it's at heavyweight's different, but Thiago Santos, I thought Dominic Reyes won that fight. I thought that was an absolute robbery in that fight. But John Jones kept winning these super razor thin decisions, and it wasn't looking good. And now he took what, a three-year break.
Yeah,
Hasn't
I'm
fought.
concerned
Ring
about
rust.
that.
Ring rust is a thing.
I know.
That is 100% a thing. And in the past 3 years, these fighters have been getting crazy. They've been getting so good with their technique, especially the kicks, those calf kicks. And I feel like Gane, he's been in the kitchen for the past 3 years while John's been getting big. You know what I mean? And this is a really big fight, and I don't think Gane's gonna be shook by the spotlight or nothing because he main event in front of his people in France, and he looked fine and he loved it. So I don't think the pressure is gonna get to him. I really think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. But I do think John Jones wins this fight, and I do think John Jones just wrestles him. He's gonna get him down eventually. And yeah, I don't think it's gonna be on the feet very long. But I do have John Jones winning, but I would not be shocked if John Jones just doesn't really look the same or as good, and Gane kind of teasing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
there's
know.
totally a scenario where John doesn't look like John because he hasn't fought in 3 years, and maybe that was the decline starting
We'll
in those
we'll
Santos fights.
we'll know how this fight goes within the first 2.5 minutes of this fight. First minute, no, first minute and a half. Not even, bro. First minute and a half, we'll know how this fight goes. Because if John's smart, he'll probably keep it up on the feet for a minute and a half and then shoot for takedowns. Just get a feel for him and then shoot.
I think it's only a matter of time till
John's a way better
when.
wrestler than Don too. It's gross. The wrestling levels are gross.
It's just when he gets him down. But maybe Cyril Gane keeps his distance and maybe picks him apart. It's a possibility.
And you got to remember, Gon got dropped by Tui.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
he
know
did.
Tua has power, but those are kind of some swinging bombs, and John's gonna be a lot more technical. He's gonna have the size. This is another thing too. He's gonna have the size and reach. Gon hasn't faced that yet. He's always had the size and reach on people, or not, but at least the length and reach. Maybe not the weight, but now he has no factors on his side. So this is gonna be a tough fight for Gon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of me feels Vincent Jones is back, but part of me is also nervous that maybe he is on the decline, and that's what we saw in those last fights. It's gonna
Yeah,
be an
bro.
interesting night. That's for sure.
Honestly, like after all we talked about, I think this is the most 50-50, bro. Because
Yeah,
it all depends on how John looks. We know how Gon looks. We've seen him so many times recently. We know how he's going to fight. John Jones at heavyweight, never seen it.
yeah. John's never took a shot from a natural heavyweight like Cyril Gane. And taking those shots in training camp is different than taking them in the actual octagon. Remember that.
Oh
But
no, I gotta add one more thing. I gotta add one more thing. Didn't John Jones like get kicked out of his camp last year?
a year and a half ago, I think, yeah.
And he hasn't been back with them. He's just been with his strength and conditioning coach.
He's with. He was training with Cejudo. He's training with former guys like Marcus Green or
Does he have
something.
a main coach?
I think he has a striking coach is one of his coach. I don't know who his main coach is now.
Another interesting factor.
I
But
think training with Cejudo though is such a big benefit. Cejudo's mind for this game is insane. And if he was with Cejudo breaking down Cyril Gane, I feel much better about it. For sure.
all right. Well, this weekend, March 4th, Johnny Bones Jones is going to come back in the octagon, the greatest fighter of all time. Let's see how he looks at heavyweight. Let's see if he can brush off the ring rust real quick. Let's see if John Jones can become the new heavyweight champion. Thank you guys so much. And
See
Big
you
Fight
then.
League, guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. Peace.